Hello guys, and welcome back to the next episode of the channel. Top 10 questions most beginner martial artists have. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video we are planning to answer the top 10 questions most beginner martial artists have.
Question 1.
Too old to start martial arts? No. There is no age limit on martial arts. You are never too old to learn a new skill. When I was training with Gokan-Ryu Karate, there was a 98-year-old that got a black belt. So the answer is no. Do you start that martial art? Good.
Question 2. What style should I do first?
That depends entirely on what you want to achieve. Some people want to kick butt. Some people just want the fitness. However, at the end of the day, it is entirely down to you. For a light cardio workout and flexibility, I'd recommend Tai Chi. For something a little bit harder with a long and rich history, maybe Shaolin. Much more of a cardio workout, very ancient techniques. For something a bit more harder hitting, maybe go for karate. At the end of the day, the choice is entirely yours. How long till my black belt? This one differs between schools. However, when I was training in Gokan-Ryu, 10 years! So it took me 10 years, which I think is an appropriate amount of time. However, there are schools out there who will offer it to you in less. Personally, again, this is my personal opinion, I wouldn't recommend going for these schools. I think trying to get a black belt in any less time is dodgy. However, it's entirely up to you if you want to go for one of these schools. But my opinion is that it should take you at least 10 years. There are some who offer it in 4, some who offer it in 2, which is ridiculous. Yeah, about 10 years I would say worth of training, so long as you're committed to it. Question 4, do you need to be fit? Absolutely not. No. Oh look, it's me! Absolutely not. No, you do not need to be fit before you start martial arts. That is something that we can work on in a class. Any good instructor will work to the talent level of his students and will push you without breaking you. But the best training lessons are always when you call out. Any good instructor will be able to work you through and build you up. You shouldn't be thrown straight into the deep end. Yeah, it takes time, but no, not at all. Turn up with whatever level of fitness that you got and a good attitude. So no, you don't have to be fit. Okay, so this is a big one that I get asked a lot. Is martial arts dangerous? It depends on the martial art. Most of them, you gotta get hit. Some martial arts out there are really good for your health. Things like Tai Chi, really good for your joints and your flexibility, all that kind of stuff. And then you've got harder styles like karate, which is very physical. Ninjutsu, heavy impact, as it were. So really, it depends on the martial art. Although I would think if you're doing a martial art, you're expecting to kind of get hit and beat up a little bit. Yeah, in my years of doing this, I've been beaten up, thrown around. I mean, look at my gi. Like, look at this. Torn, battered, beaten up, ruined. This is freshly stitched because it's split. Where I've been thrown around so much. I would come to a class, obviously, as a beginner. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Most martial arts will tend to ease you in. However, do be prepared to be on the receiving end of a punch and make sure. What to expect on your first class? Your guess is as good as mine. It depends entirely on the style. Every style is different. It takes a lot of courage to turn up to your first class. That's the first step, and it's the biggest one that most martial artists actually trip over when they first want to begin, is turning up to the first class. And it can be nerve-wracking, obviously, but just turn up. Just turn up. Bite the bullet. But I would have you greeted, make sure you're welcomed and introduced to the class and your peers, all the other new beginners or white belts, and then we get into training, teaching you the basics of the martial art, the very foundation building blocks. So you learn how to punch, kick, block, and all your stance work. And that's it. And then that's all you have to do. So make sure you bring a water bottle and a good attitude. Good attitude is important. The differences between styles. Again, there are many different types of karate. For argument's sake, got Gokan-Ryu, Goju-Ryu, Shotokan, and each one teaches different elements. They're all very, very similar, certain differences. But then if you want different styles such as karate, ninjutsu, aikido, taekwondo, wushu, wing chun. Again, massive differences. Karate is all about having a solid foundation and striking hard. Ninjutsu is getting out of the way. It's a very acrobatic form, but its takedowns are brutal. You have Wing Chun. We have the episode on that one. You can see how it works at close range. Every style is different and has different things to offer. The only thing I can suggest on that is to research. Think about what it is that you want from a martial art, why you're doing it, and then find something that's going to work for you. Do I need any special equipment? Absolutely not. Turn this around for a better look. So, ninjutsu tabi with the split toes, and the ninjutsu gi, which is traditionally black. You do not need any special equipment to start. When you first turn up in a t-shirt, some loose trousers, something that you can move around in, bring a water bottle, and maybe a towel. That's it. That's all you need. Everything else will be purchasable through your instructor, or you can find it online, Amazon, or through the club. Ideally, always support your local club if you can. Because it's tough teaching martial arts out here in this day and age. Next question. Kids and adults training in the same class. Absolutely fine. Depends on the instructor. Many will have separate classes. So when I used to train and teach, we used to have kids class first, which was an hour and a half, and then the adults class after, which was an hour and a half. And obviously in the adults class, they go a lot harder, and there's a lot more in-depth explanation, whereas we used to focus the kids classes on developing skills. So you develop your basics, obviously they go through the gradings and all that kind of stuff, but it was mainly focused on discipline and making sure they had the techniques down. Whereas with the adults, we could go a lot harder and actually explain a lot more in depth as to what these techniques were for, because they're not nice techniques. So that's all I actually have time for today. Yeah, we don't have long in this booking space. So if you have any more questions, guys, just drop them in the comment section below and I'll try and get around to them and reply to everybody. Once again, massive thank you to Paul Wing Chun for allowing us to use the dojo next door to them, because they're currently training right now, as we said at the start. So they've got their own class. They could probably hear me blabbering away and wondering what's going on. But massive thank you to them, and also a massive thank you to Shanti Community Studio. They are absolutely brilliant. Was more than understand to come in and film. So, yep, absolutely perfect. Big up. Woo. See you in the next one.